Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Harlan County community continues to mourn the loss of a beloved educator and artist. And a group of missionaries all the way from South Korea make a visit to Eastern Kentucky to join us in prayer.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Chas Gayhart. It is 4:59 on Friday, May 5th. We're going to go over and check in with Brandon. And Brandon, I had it all wrong coming in on Monday and Tuesday. It is so much more fun to say it's Friday.
Exactly. See, you missed it.
Oh, I will, from now on, Neil, Fridays.
Thursdays and Fridays for Chaz. All right, let's take a look at the forecast this morning. We don't have a whole lot going on. It's a little warmer than it was this time yesterday, but our camera network around the region looking pretty good. Not too much going on anywhere this morning. And again, we're looking from Hazard to Pikeville to London, Corbin to Jenkins, Buffalo, Pine Mountain, everything pretty quiet as you start your day. A little light traffic out there this morning. Still a couple of 30s. We got 39 Manchester, Hazard, Irvin, 50 in Moorhead, 35 in Clintwood. Trying to see if there's anybody else any warmer or colder. Looks like we got 37 in Grundy and Jonesville too, 39 in Ashland. So again, 30s, 40s, and 50s out there this morning. Your out the door forecast, partly to mostly cloudy skies, but in a complete 180 on the models, the rain chances are gone today, at least during the daytime hours, and maybe pretty much in the first part of Derby weekend too. We'll track all that for you coming up here in just a few minutes. Chas?
Thanks, Brandon. Well, Harlan County is mourning the loss of Bob Howard, who made a great impact on the community through teaching and coaching, but he was also close with his family. Howard died unexpectedly on Wednesday at the age of 70. He would often spend hours cheering on his children and grandkids at sporting events along with the students he taught. Former Harlan County Superintendent Tim Saylor says Howard was always talking about how much he loved his family.
I don't think there was a time that I was with the man, and I was with him a lot over the course of 12 years as superintendent, that he did not bring up his family at some point in time.
Harlan County High School principal Kathy Napier, who learned and worked with Bob Howard, said he was an exceptional role model. UK student and Breathitt County native A.J. Miller was trying to study abroad in Russia this year, but that was halted by the war in Ukraine. Months later, his family home in Breathitt County was destroyed by 8 feet of water from last summer's flooding. Going into his last year of college was looking rough. A home destroyed and the thought of furthering his Russian studies were on hold.
Thought about giving up at that moment, but I picked myself up. I'm kind of proud of myself for that.
Despite his obstacles, Miller is set to graduate from UK this weekend. He says he would like to work in immigration services. He also says his family is building a new home in Breathitt County. The Housing Development Alliance is once again offering its summer internship program to students in Breathitt, Knott, Leslie, and Perry counties. Students must be between the age of 18 and 20 years old. HDA Director of Development and Communications, Mindy Miller, says there are 4 paid positions available, and interns will get to work alongside their carpenters to learn skills building and repairing homes for flood survivors and low-income families.
One of the things that we're in the process of doing right now is expanding our crews. So we're going from 5 crews to 10 crews, and the reason we're doing that is because there's so much work we have to do in this community following the flood. So we're still working with flood survivors, but we're also working with people who are not flood survivors who just need help as well.
Miller says staff will be at the Perry County Central High School Job Fair next Tuesday, May 9th. Students can apply there, or they can find information on ways to apply on our website, WYMT.com. There's a big announcement for Kentucky's foster children and those who provide care for them. Governor Andy Beshear says his administration is providing $41.5 million to the foster care system. The funds will start being distributed this month to the 45 providers and their more than 120 foster care agencies. The funds are a result of cost savings by the state that has been achieved by reducing the number of children in foster care. A group of 10 missionaries traveled from South Korea to join Eastern Kentuckians in prayer yesterday. WYMT's RJ Johnson joined them as they stopped in London.
Coming together in prayer, more than 100 people gathered at the Laurel County Courthouse to pray for the country during the National Day of Prayer. But some folks made a journey of more than 6,000 miles to join the prayer. A group of nearly 12 missionaries from one of the biggest churches in South Korea was in London for the gathering. Parkway Ministries pastor Mark Heisel says the group has been praying throughout the region.
Some leaders in the National Prayer Movement contacted us to see if we'd be interested in hosting a team here in the Tri-County. So Parkway Ministries is doing that, and we've been in Barberville, in London today, Manchester, Harlan, Corbin before, and in Corbin nightly.
With help from translator John Cho, Pastor Choi Jae Choon says they came here to pray with and for the U.S. in hopes of spreading the word of God and bettering the country.
And Pastor Choi hopes that through our prayers together, that America will become the church of the world once again, the leaders of spirituality, and that we will also just send out missionaries across the world like we used to.
He says that they want to come together to pray in unison.
And he wanted to unite all of our prayers together in this place, and that's why he has selected Corbin, or London, to be a place of gathering for our Korean team.
While spreading the love through prayer, Pastor Choi says he is excited for the rest of the group's time in the Commonwealth. In London, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Pastor Heisel says the group will still be in the area throughout the weekend visiting churches. And thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, an unlikely contender is a popular pick to win the Kentucky Derby this year. We'll have the story in just a few minutes.
Forecast will stay dry for most of the next couple of days, but some changes are coming later this weekend. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.